Welcome to Bon Jovi Discussions. Today I have my buddy David from Canada, and we are going to talk about disc 3 of this incredible box set. But before that, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here today. This is awesome.
I love this box set. Before we start, I have to apologize for the look of my room today because I'm doing a whole remodel in my office. Usually about every once or 2 months I tear down the posters I have and I put new ones up. But I'm doing redoing the whole room, so it's a little messy. But anyway, yeah. So I'm excited to
Looks
talk
good
about
though.
this.
You got a lot of Jovi up there.
I got a lot of Jovi in here. I got a lot of Jovi in storage. I got so much, and that's why I'm able to tear things down and put new stuff up because I can't stand looking at the same picture for months on end.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this was released in actually today's the anniversary of it, November 16th, 2004. When I put this out this week, and it's gonna be like 4 days later, people will be like, today's not the anniversary. So I had to say November 16th, 2004. This is when we're recording it. But anyway, yeah. So this came out 17 years ago today. Now
Wow.
I remember I was how old was I? I was 12. And so I had been a fan for 4 years now at that time. And I remember it was, my dad was starting to say, okay, what do you want for Christmas? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's only one thing that I want for Christmas, and it's this. And back then this was like $75, $80 to get.
Yeah.
And so my dad said I can get it, and so I begged my dad. I said, "But Dad, there's more. I need to get it on the first day because I got crushed on the first day. I won one night on the first day, bounce on the first day. This stuff feels right on the first day, so I had to get the box. So my dad took me to Kmart to get the box set, and my dad, and then so I begged and pleaded with my dad, can I please just open it and look at the inside and just listen to one disc? Thankfully, after bugging him to do it, he let me pick out a disc. So randomly, I chose disc 3, and that's actually my favorite disc on the box, which we're going to talk
Me
about
too.
today. And we're in for a good chat. And I remember listening to that album, like Edge of a Broken Heart and so forth. I loved it so much, and my dad made me put the disc back after listening to it, and I couldn't open it till Christmas. So you can imagine the first gift that I opened on Christmas Day, the box, the box set. But so that's my memory of, and I remember I loved these. There's 4 discs of these songs I've never heard. And this is before YouTube and all that. So anyway, so what was the day when you got it?
Every Bon Jovi album's day one for me. I remember going on because like you said, at that time all you had would be say bonjovi.com to get your information from, and I didn't think we Google things really back then, if I recall. So I would go on their website all the time. I remember when Crush and Bounce were out looking all the time. And so I knew this was coming, and I was so excited. And just kind of like with One Wild Night, I left work, and in Canada we had this store, which is now defunct, called Music World. And so I went into the mall, and I got it that day. I just couldn't wait to get it. So I bought it, and I brought it back to my apartment at the time. And I couldn't decide, do I play a song here and there? Do I go album at a time? You're like that little kid in the candy store. It was like overwhelming. I looked at 4 new Bon Jovi albums at one time. It was like mind blowing, right? Even as an adult, So I think I might have scrolled a little bit the first day, but I think I pretty much did every day or two a new disc because I really want to get to know each album. And I was so excited every time I could whether I get up in the morning and I'm getting ready for work, or whether it was lunch break in my car, or whether it was coming home and just trying to get the other disc on to hear more. You have to give something at least 5-6 listens before you get a good feel for it. So you times up like 4 albums, and and of course putting the DVD on too. It was maybe a great day to be a Bon Jovi fan, and disc 3 ended up being my favorite. Although I was looking at your discussions for 1 and 2. They're pretty close, but overall, I think disc 3 is my favorite too.
Yeah. What's your favorite song on disc 3?
Disc 3? Well, it's kind of like I'm a big baseball fan, so we're hitting one of the park with the leadoff hitter here. I'd probably say Edge of a Broken Heart.
Okay, we're gonna my favorite on the disc, but So anyway, so yes, like you and I kind of explained, this box set, it is truly for the die-hard fans. Is what Yeah, this is what we're bitching about. This is what we're hoping for 4 years. We're hoping to get another box set. So back then, this was a big
Yeah.
deal. You know, it's filled with outtakes,
Excuse me.
B-sides, and then we also get a DVD of like interviews about these songs. It's so great, and then the album cover, obviously is so 100 million Bon Jovi fans can't be wrong. That was to celebrate them selling 100 million albums and 20 years. And then so they did Elvis because Elvis did 50 million fans can't be wrong,
right.
and they did, so that was pretty cool. I don't know, babe, but I think it's time we dig into disc 3 because I love this disc so much. This that's a tongue twister. This disc so much.
So much. And it's so well rounded with all the members getting featured too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So first track is "Edge of a Broken Heart." This is one of my 2 favorite tracks. This is if you were to look at any of the band's outtakes that they've ever taken out of an album, "Edge of a Broken Heart" is the very, very, very first song that I would say this needs to be on the album. This is the one outtake that was the coulda, woulda, shoulda, and it should have been on the album because I think it would have been a massive hit.
I agree. Yeah. And by John's admission, he said, "I'm not a good A&R guy. How do we miss this one?" Right?
Yeah. It was like, look at our prayer. We almost didn't get prayer.
Yeah. I know.
But anyway, so this song was written by John Ritchie and Desmond Child back in '86. Yeah. This is actually a really big diehard fan favorite. A lot of diehards like us and others really, really love the song. What I really like about it is that guitar intro. The da 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 da. It has an '80s sound, and then it has that kind of and then the drum, the boom 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 boom, and then it goes into the keys, and then you get that. I mean, it's such a great band collaboration in that intro. Yeah. And then John's vocals, honestly, if I look at the Superman album in its entirety with outtakes and the songs that were on the album, this is probably my favorite song that's from Slippery Era, where John's vocals were just phenomenal. Like my favorite vocal song.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is one of the few tracks actually I had prior to the box set. And we'll probably talk more in our wrap up later, but to me, this is, I've always said since last 17 years, I think it is today, this is the best box set any band has ever put out. Because as you alluded to at the start, who buys box sets? It's the diehard fans, right? So exactly. Like a lot of bands will put some demos and a lot of greatest hits and that on there. But this was, like I said, essentially 4 new Bon Jovi albums. And this was one of the rare tracks that I did know prior to. But not having a really good, clear copy of it. It was just such a good song. And I know it was on the Orderlies soundtrack too, I think it was. But the lyrics are just so good. And I think it's a song that's so relatable with everyone. I've even quoted it on Valentine cards by my guilty admission here. My favorite line, I'll start that, is when I hold out my hand, I'll be reaching for you. I'll give it all I got. That's all I can do.
That was mine.
So when you're waiting for love, I'll be waiting for you.
Oh man, you took that. That is such an incredible bridge. Man. I love that, and just the way that he sings it. It's so good. And I'm going to give a huge credit to David on this one because the keys on this song are so good and they're so loud and you can hear them. Another thing is, can you imagine what this song would be like live? Now, I'll tell you, on the cruise, the Bon Jovi cruise that I did, there was a band called Slippery When Wet, and they played this, and it was so good the way that they did it. So I imagine, can you imagine Bon Jovi opening up with this?
Oh,
even as a show opener, I think it would be, because I think that just the intro of the song is really builds you up.
You wouldn't want to be late getting your snacks and beer to that one, huh? You're coming in and it's coming in.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, the meaning of this song, I think, is just being so close on the edge of a broken heart. Not getting that girl, and seeing the girl that you like with someone else. And it's killing you. And if you continue to see it, you're gonna I Have a Broken Heart.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, who knows? Maybe they'll. You know what they could do? I think they should do. I know it's the 35th for Slippery. If they did a anniversary edition of it or a reissue of Slippery, use this song to promote the reissue of Slippery. So make it a single all these years later, right? Maybe that's an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the song to promote it.
Next track is Sympathy, and this was for the Keep the Faith album, written by John and Richie, and I think it was written in, if my memory serves correct, I think this was written in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And they wrote some of these songs, and Sympathy was one of them, because at that time they were going to do the double album for Keep the Faith, because they promised to do that for New Jersey but never did. Then the live album, then they never did. So Keep the Faith was supposed to be a double album, and so they wrote a lot more songs, and Sympathy was one of them. And I think it was also, I think when they were in Vancouver, when I think they were watching a Beatles, no, it was a Rolling Stones feature, and they kind of got influence from that. To be honest with you, it's not one of my favorite. I mean, I don't mind it. I think when the box set first came out, I really was like, yeah. But as I've gotten older and stuff, I think I like it a lot more now.
Yeah.
What's your overview of the song?
Kind of similar to you. I found the Stones tidbit interesting too. When John said I think they had the screen muted, and just watching, and no one can move on stage like Mick Jagger, even at his age. God bless him. He's just so unique to watch, and so just to have them inspired by Mick and Keith, and having the song from that. But yeah, I can see why it didn't make the Faith album. It's a good second track rocker on the box set. I think the box set was the perfect vehicle for this song. Like you though, it's not one that I initially gravitated to, and and thought, okay, I really want to play this over and over, right? But I think it fits fine on disc 3 and in the collection though.
Yeah, and I think John's vocals are probably the best part of this song.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And there's some good lines in there, like, you stole my heart and you took all the cash, you left me with the trash, and some of those words like that. There's some, of course, some cheeky lyrics on there.
Yeah. I think I kind of wrote this around the same time that I wrote Why Aren't You Dead? Because if you
love that song.
Both lyrics on both songs, I think that they were writing them simultaneously.
Yeah.
My favorite lyric is, "Don't come knocking on my back door. Love ain't living around here no more." Like don't come to me, I'm not yours to be used anymore. And I think that's what the song's kind of about, is just being dumped and not feeling like good enough, but knowing that she's not good enough either, because she's got her sins and you've got your sins. And like the line, she's no bride to be. So I think it's a song about looking at each other's fault and not wanting sympathy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do, and and it's certainly a relatable song, and I think it was a strong O-take at the time, for them to put on. But when you look at Keep the Faith and the 12 tracks they did choose, and then of course with Save a Prayer added as the 13th one down the road, it's not going to cut the mustard for those top 13 songs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It must be hard to choose at the time. Like in John's defense, like you look at Edge of a Broken Heart, as we said, how do you pick sometimes, because if you write that song, and I'm not a songwriter per se, but they're all kind of like your children, right? Like you love all these songs, and how do you decide, okay, do I go this one over this one? And you kind of lean on other people to give you some guidance, I suppose. Like Edge could have been on it and Prayer almost didn't make it. You know what I mean? It is hard at the time. You probably don't know.
And we didn't even get the damn double album. Keep the Faith. I mean,
yeah, I know.
One other thing I really like about Sympathy is at the end when they do the whole, which we're going to lead into the next song here.
Yeah.
For Only in My Dreams. But at the end of Sympathy, they do His Name is Tico.
I love that.
And you just you get that whole, like what it sounds like, because a lot of these were demos. So you hear what the band sounds like. But then they also show you the fun that they have, like stupid stuff like His Name is Tico, like all that stupid fun stuff, so it's kind of cool to see that side of the band. Definitely. And then they lead into Only in My Dreams, which is the next track, and that was also going to be for Keep the Faith. If my memory serves correctly, they wrote this song and John just couldn't get it right.
Mm.
And he's like, let's give this one to Tico to sing. And which let me sidetrack for a second. Another cool thing about this box set was that this also gave the whole band a chance to shine. So Richie with If I Can't Have Your Love, David with Memphis Lives in Me, and then Tico Only in My Dreams. Um, so yeah, this was written by John, and then he just wanted Tico to. I don't think there was ever a plan to put this out on the album. I think it was just one of those songs. Hey, let's just do whatever with it and see how it turns out.
And this was for Faith, was it not? This was for Faith too, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was for Keep the Faith.
Yeah.
I was glad to see that they did this live once in 2004 in Linux. I actually posted this to Twitter
I saw it. Yeah.
3 weeks ago of just John, and it was so awkward to see John on the just like
yeah,
back and forth, and then you see Tink, So
yeah.
I think as fans like us, we really appreciate seeing something like that. But what's your whole overview of the whole song?
I was just blown away the first time I heard it in that first week, like we talked about, and I still love it. And I love that clip on Twitter of Tico singing. And man, he has such a good voice. And I think, as I said, in the notes, he really does, to me, resemble Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
And I just the other day I was watching the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, and at the end of the movie, Louis Armstrong comes on and sings "We Have All the Time in the World." And of course I also flash back to Tico singing this song. He does have that kind of a similarity, doesn't he, to that? Because you never really hear most drummers sing. And as much as you listen to Bon Jovi and go to concerts, to hear him do lead like that, you hear him in the background and stuff like that, but you don't really know what his voice sounds like on its own, right? So this was the first time I really heard just Tico sing, lead and period without others kind of joining in. So I found him just really, it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it just has that nice common voice.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think there's also an accordion in this song.
Yes.
Yeah,
David was on the accordion there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So this song to me, I think, is a reflective song. I think it kind of looks back and wishing you could do anything to relive those memories again and that relationship that you once were in. And my favorite line is, "I can't bend the hands of time, so I think myself to sleep the way you never said goodbye, if only in my dreams." Yeah. I really like that.
Me too. And I think, and this is one of the songs where I don't know if that would be up there. I don't know if I have a favorite line per se. I think it's just hearing Tico's voice and the energy that the song brings and the smile that puts on your face. Right.
Yep.
For me, I think it's the general vibe of the song.
Exactly.
Right? The chorus is so good, and
that twang. I don't know if the twang's the right word, but like that da, 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 that accordion and guitar combined, and I love it. And I was actually listening to the song earlier, and it got stuck in my head for the rest of the evening. And I was like, well, I'm doing the chat with my buddy here, so I guess it's okay. Let's do the next song. Shut Up and Kiss Me, which now I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So this was actually written by John, and it was a demo for Destination Anywhere. Okay. John didn't finish it, didn't like it, but I think they took it out for Crush demos, and then Richie and Desmond Child finished it with him. Still became an outtake, but I think it was originally. I think the demo was performed by John. Had like this weird side band for a second. JBJ and the Wild Dogs.
I was thinking of JBJ and the Wild Ones.
Yeah, something like that. And then so they recorded this, and it didn't. John didn't like it, and then, like I said, wrote it for Crush. Yeah. I think this is like one of those songs that really sounds like a true demo, which makes the box authentic. What's your whole take on this song?
I like it. It has a different vibe to it for me, and it makes sense that maybe it originated from the Destination Anywhere sessions because in a good way, I think it adds a little bit of variety to the Bon Jovi sound a bit there. You put on, it's okay, it's nice, it's a little different. And I think the theme and the message in it is kind of universal again. Trying to make it day to day and going through the hard times. like don't need no candles, you're the spark, those type of words in there kind of resonate with you, right?
Exactly.
And the chorus is just, the chorus doesn't kind of hit you in the face, but it's more of like it's hard to explain, like a bit of a subtle sound to it, or a little more kind of a even flow to it more.
Yeah. I think the drums too on this, I think it really stands out for me. I don't know if this version is JBJ and the Wild Dogs or if it's the band. I've always wondered that. I think it's the band. Could be wrong though. Anyway, my favorite lyric is "Don't need no matches, just a fire in the dark. We come together. Well, that's a good start." It's yeah. Do you have a favorite line of it?
Just what I said there. Don't need no candles. You're the spark. Don't need no matches. Just a fire in the dark.
Yeah. Good line.
Yeah. Shut up and kiss me, and
The next one is Crazy Love, and this was a demo for Crush. Now, I talked about how Sympathy, I didn't like it when it came out, but then I learned to love it. Crazy Love, I was actually crazy, pun intended. I know you're good with your puns.
I try.
But Crazy Love, I loved it. It was one of my favorites when the box set first came out. Now it's okay. I enjoy it. I don't have as much love for it as I used to.
Yeah.
But it was written by John, Mark Hudson, and Dave Stewart, I believe. And it's just, one of those songs that's just about crazy for someone. And I think it's like, to me, I feel like it's like one of those songs that you feel towards someone in the beginning of a relationship. It's new and it's exciting, and you're just crazy. You just think about that person. I think the chorus is really good. It's one of those catchy choruses, here she comes.
And his tone in the chorus, too.
What's that?
And the way his voice goes, like the tone he uses, like the pitch.
Yeah, and it goes high. Oh yeah, it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Is this one of those fun songs that you could just listen to and sing along to, and have fun with it?
And I think you hit the nail right on the head there too, Jerry. Like, because when this song came out, I met someone for around the first time, and I still think her, walking in, and or you hear Poofy, and I think of this song, and I had this song, of course, playing these discs all the time. I still have flashbacks to this song and that girl who later became my wife, right? So I had this, in my head at the time.
You know what else I love about this song too? I think the bridge is really fun too. Like when he's like, "No, wait a minute."
Yeah.
I can't believe my eye. Like
who's that?
Yeah. Yeah, who's that? It's just
here she comes. Yeah.
And
sorry.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, she teases me, squeezes me, but I'm a man when I'm in her arms. Right?
Yeah.
I like that part.
My favorite line is, "Throw a coat of paint on this rusty heart. Ain't it funny how life imitates art?" I love that line so much.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about this song for the next one?
No, it's just kind of after kind of picking up with the Tico song, keeps the fun going on the record, on this 3 record, right? And it just has that nice vibe. And sometimes you're, like you said before, if you're going to work in the morning and you want something energetic to kind of put a smile on your face, Crazy Love always will do that. I think it's one of those happy songs, right? Yep,
exactly. And reflected, like you said, about your wife, it makes you look back at that. And next one is Lonely at the Top. And this was written for these days. Now we talk about fun songs. Now we're in a sad one.
Yeah.
So this was written by John and Richie. And so obviously this song was written after Kurt Cobain's death. He had committed suicide. And John wrote this song for his daughter Franny. And if my memory serves right, I think John gave this song written to Franny the day of Kurt Cobain's funeral.
Okay.
But obviously the song is all about Lonely at the Top. So, how big Kurt was. And so sometimes, I think as people, we think that once celebrities are at their highest and successful, they think that life is so good and you're so happy. Well, that's not true. The truth, I think celebrities, have the same emotions, same anxiety, same stressors that we do. And so when you're at the top, you may not be happy, because you don't have everything that you want in life. And I think that, as John had said too, there was nowhere else for him to go. He didn't know where to go. You know, music kind of faded out for him. The music industry wasn't what he thought it was, and so there's just a lot of these stressors that made him, kill himself. So the song, like how it starts, "Tell Franny I'm sorry she didn't get to meet her dad." You know,
Is that actually his daughter's name, Kurt Cobain's?
yeah, Francis or something. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
It's a good. I
this is one
believe
of those.
I was never a Nirvana fan, but I do
No,
stuff with
myself
the
neither.
story.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain. So yeah, Francis Bean Cobain.
Okay.
It's actually pretty hot, but that's besides the fact. So yeah, so it's a sad song.
It is.
And that's my favorite line of the song. Tell Franny I'm sorry she didn't get to meet her dad. You know, so you look at all these celebrities who have addiction problems or commit suicide or are depressed. Um, is lonely at the top. So what's your view of the song?
Kind of same as you. My favorite line is, life becomes worthless when they steal your dreams. And, that's essentially what it's about, because as that song alludes to, it's not what you thought it would be, being, quote, on the top of your profession, being at the top of your industry, and having all the commercial and success. It's not what, you thought it would be, right? This is one of the few songs also in the collection that I actually had prior to. I remember at the time when These Days came out, I remember they had those maxi singles, like the 5 songs on them. I think this was on, if I'm not mistaken, on the This Ain't a Love Song single. And I think the other song we're going to do, Ordinary World, was on that, along with Prostitute, and one other one. I can't remember what the other one was now. But so I actually this is one of the few songs I actually had prior to on the single. What was it?
I think it was Wedding Day.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. So I knew this song, but yeah, it just has that kind of vibe to it where it makes you kind of reflect on things, and and if you're things aren't going that well for you, it's a song that I think it's kind of, for me, a bit kind of like a bit of a lullaby, a bit soothing, because it has a heavy subject to it, and I think that sometimes things aren't always what they seem on the surface, where you think person A should be happy, or even sometimes yourself, you feel like, why aren't I happy? Things are going so well for me in this area, but what's bringing me down, right? And it's sad when someone doesn't get the help that they need to get, and have a support system in place, right?
Absolutely.
I think, and this song reflects that.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one is Ordinary People. This is probably one of my favorites as far as subject matter goes. Like you said, this was written for These Days. It was written by John. This was written around the same time they did Flesh and Bone, and they thought that it was too dark, which is amazing, because if you listen to the These Days album, hello, it's dark. So I don't. And they said that it's not dark, but I think it is. So it's weird how this didn't make it. I can see why it didn't make it. It doesn't really fit the album, but I love it. I think it's one of my favorite outtakes from the album.
Okay.
So John actually wrote this, and then it sat for a while, and then they rewrote it, I think, at David's house.
Okay.
But they couldn't find the right ending, I think, and that's why it kind of got thrown to the side.
Yeah.
I think this song's all about just having those dreams and having the struggles, just like as the next person, whether you're successful. And it's kind of like a good sequel to Lonely at the Top. You could be the biggest thing, but you're still an ordinary person. Or people like you and me, ordinary people, and we're in extraordinary times. So that's what my whole meaning behind it is. I think the chorus is probably the best part of the song too. The way that the band has the backing vocals and then John's vocals. But what's your take?
Yeah, it's one of the songs that kind of sticks in your head too, doesn't it? You go, and you kind of keep humming it or singing it when you shut it off. Yeah, but I think I see why it didn't make the These Days collection. I mean, it's not one of my favorites in the whole box set, but I think it's one that deserves to be on there. And I kind of get the same meaning that you get behind it, and it kind of, like you said, it's a song I find myself humming along to a lot, and it gets in your head, and I always enjoy it when it comes to that part of the disc when I'm playing it. It's not, like I said, one I'd put in my top list of favorites per se, but it is what it is, right? And it's a track that I will kind of smile and listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. My favorite line is the bridge. And ain't nobody wants to be nobody. Everybody wants a little love, wants to be the hero and ride into the setting sun.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that line. And they're very true words.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Next one is Flesh and Bone. And like I said, with one of the people that wrote this around the same time for these days. It was Too Dark. It was written by John and Richie and David Bryan.
Yes. Yes.
So this song is kind of not one of my favorites, but I really like the meaning behind it. I think it's all about, judging a book by its cover, not understanding who the person you're judging really is. Like I think Flesh and Bone kind of is a metaphor for heart and soul and who you are. And, I think this is more of an experiment I think they were trying to create something that wasn't really there, but it's still a good song.
It's very catchy. I love my favorite part. Yeah, is the chorus. I love when John sings and the background vocals kind of simultaneously kind of play off one another. And that's the part that kind of gets, you enjoy in the song. I mean, the chorus is, of course, the meat of the song, but I love the dual vocals with John and the background. And that's the best part of the song. And who knows, like I said, maybe it could have been, developed into something a little more, but it is, it's definitely, a strong outtake, I think. And I'm thankful we got in the collection, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned John Ritchie. Another great collaboration, I think, too, is Tico and Ritchie on this too, especially in that guitar solo. They blend so well together on that.
They do.
Part.
Yeah.
My favorite line is, "Do the cuts bleed any different on a pauper or a king? When it comes to dying, the crown don't mean a thing." And so I think that whole thing means it doesn't matter what status you're in or who you are. We're all equal, and we shouldn't be judging each other by our status.
Yeah.
Next one is Satellite. And this was written for Crush. I love this. This is written by John Ritchie and Desmond Child. John, I think John had the initiative that they wanted to put this on Crush, and he wanted to go out and do it live, but he thought it was too high vocally to do every night.
I heard that.
So he didn't put it on the album. So you could still put it on the album and not do it live.
Yeah.
I would love seeing it live. I think it's a great song, though.
I love it.
And I think there was a rumor somewhere that this song was actually 3 songs, and they put it into one. There was they were writing 3 different songs at the same time with similar subject matter, and they all put it into one, which became Satellite.
Right.
Which is, I think the song is, kind of in a way, it makes me think of Bounce, and the song Hook Me Up. You're feeling alone, you feel isolated. Not saying that's what Hook Me Up is. Hook Me Up is still reaching out for someone, but Satellite, I think, is feeling isolated and just looking for someone. I also think it's kind of, in a way, questioning your faith, looking for God, hey, God, can you hear me? Can you see me? So religiously, I think there's an aspect to it there. And also hey, I need a friend. Am I the only one here that's feeling what I'm feeling?
Yeah. My favorite line is, are you listening? I'm desperate, saying it out in SOS because I'm lost. I must confess. Throwing the deepest line because it's the deepest part of me. This song too, also, like I said, it just I felt just very connected to it the first time I heard it. I think his vocal range is really, really nice in the song, and it just sounds so good. And I loved all the subject matter that you alluded to. And I look at it as someone who is tired of being alone, someone who who needs somebody, and kind of searching for that somebody or something in your life maybe that you're missing. And Satellite to me is that kind of representation of that.
Yep, you said it perfectly. And you mentioned John's vocals. I love the way he screams Satellite. There's a high vocal. And then your favorite lyric too, the beginning. I love that slow intro. and it's just
Yes.
nice and easy going, and then it builds up right into the chorus.
Yeah.
My favorite line is everybody hurts, everybody cries, everybody needs someone to save them sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next
That,
one is
that could be a hit. That could have been a hit song. Like that's amazing to me.
I
That
think
that
it could have too.
not on a record. And I mean, if that's on a record, you think, why isn't that not released? It wasn't even on the original record, right?
Yeah.
That's mind blowing.
But if you look back at 2000 and what Crush was and what was on the radio, I'm not sure if it would have worked.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm with you. I think it would have been an incredible hit, but I think at that time I don't think it would have been as successful.
Yeah.
But
And thank you
next
for
one, yeah, next one is If I Can't Have Your Love, and this was actually a song by Richie that he wrote and put on "Stranger in This Town." It was written by Richie, Desmond Child, and Diane Warren. This song is so good. This really shows Richie's talent as a singer. His vocals in this song are very passionate,
Oh yes.
and it's incredible. And I think the whole song is it's a ballad about I'm nothing without you. If I can't have your love, I'm nothing.
Mm.
What's your take on this song?
Well, not to go all mushy on you again, Jerry, too, but as I said
Oh,
earlier there, this is a song that also makes me think of my wife.
is your wife beside you right now? Is that why
No,
you're
she's upstairs. But see, we literally just met when this box.
You're
When
trying
this
to
box.
points.
So when I think of this song, I think of meeting her, and when you're trying to win somebody over. So
Yeah.
I just it just gives me a nice with Satellite too, and this one it gives you that nice feeling, and so I always think of that time in my life. But this song, yeah, like man, and Richie's vocals, unbelievable how good he sounds, and how he never put this on any of his solo records is beyond me. It's and I will say, like, and I have all the Richie albums and everything too. To me, this is my favorite Richie song, just from his solo collection.
This and Ballad of Youth are probably the best songs from Stranger in This Town album.
Yeah, One Like Burning, I've always really liked too.
Yeah, that one's okay.
Yeah, but this song is just drips in emotion.
Oh, I know.
His vocals, and he's even you watch him in recent years, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and so forth. His voice is just so strong, isn't it? And it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And he just moves you,
Yep.
And
Yes,
yeah, I just love this. And when you ask me my favorite song on here, this is right up there for me with Edge of a Broken Heart. I really take to this song.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I really liked it. Maybe I'm in the minority on that.
Hey,
but
that's okay. I know a lot of Richie fans love it, and I love it due to Richie's vocals on it.
Mm.
Next one is actually my favorite one out of the whole entire box set. Real Life, and this was written. So this was written for a movie called Ed TV. So this actually was not written for Crush, but it was pre-Crush era. And they wrote this song. Matthew McConaughey, I think, asked him to write this song, whatever. And and it's funny because if you look in the music video, we're talking about pre-Crush era. Crush was actually almost called Sex Sells, which I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so if you watch the Real Life music video, you'll see a poster advertising Bon Jovi's new album Sex Sells out in 1999, which obviously became Crush, released in June 2000. So I thought that was kind of, so like if you're like a real diehard, you know what that poster is all about.
Yeah.
But this song was written by John and Desmond Child. And we want to talk about the music video. Let me back up. In the music video, they have the whole band, but except for David, because David had I think a handsaw accident, and so he couldn't stay home. So in the video, you see them carrying a cardboard cutout of David, which I thought that was kind of unique.
Yeah.
But I love this song. Have you ever seen that TV?
Oh yeah, I watched the movie because of Bon Jovi.
Yeah, me too.
I bought the soundtrack. I'll tell you the whole story in a minute there. But yes, I saw the movie.
But it's I love the way it's played in the movie. To me, I think this song is all about we're all human and we all bleed. We all go through difficult times. This is real life. My favorite line is, "Why can't it be like it is on TV when the orchestra plays when you come back to me?" So it's like that's like losing someone that you love, and you know, in the movies they make it seem like there's a happy ending and everything, and you're like, you know, why can't it be like this on TV when the orchestra plays and you come back to me? In real life, that's not happening. You're not.
Mhm.
The orchestra isn't playing. You're not coming back to me.
Mhm.
So I think, you know, sometimes the song is about loss
Yeah.
and going through the pain, and um, yeah, that's all I can really say. I truly love this song
Me
very
too.
much. You know, and the way that it's, you know, the way that John sings in the verses. I wish that was like it is in the movies,
Yeah.
and just all those lines. You know, it's incredible. I could keep going on. What's your soundtrack story?
Well, I had a lot. My favorite line is when they threw me to the lions. No one saved me from your grace. No one wrote me new lines for what I did wrong. I could not erase. And as a guy putting his foot in his mouth more than one time, I wish I had some writer there, saying, David, don't say this, don't do that. So it's such a true thing, right? No one's writing the lines in real life
And
at the
that's
same.
what life is about. Life is
Yeah.
all about trial and error. You know?
But yeah, I remember I was so excited when this song came out, Jerry, because it was the first band track since these days, right? And we had Destination Anywhere, so it was a good 4 years since that came out. And of course, they believe they reunited with Bruce Fairbairn on the song, if I'm not mistaken. And I was so excited to hear a new Bon Jovi song. I remember it came out, I think, around March of that year, back in '99. And
Yeah.
I lived up in North in this place on the Alaska Highway, so we didn't get a lot of music back then, right? It was hard to get copies of music and so forth because you're kind of more isolated on the Alaska Highway, right? So finally, I remember the soundtrack came out, and it was in like a electronics store because they didn't have any record stores. And I think it was like $25 or something like that. And I only really wanted this one song because you couldn't just kind of cherry pick the songs you wanted back then. But I knew, of course, Bon Jovi was on it, and I'd heard the song, and I saw the video on Friday Night Videos at the time. I don't know if you're too young to watch that. It used to be a late night Friday show. So I went out and bought the soundtrack anyway. And I said, just for one, paying like the $25 for this one song, which I just loved. And some of the other songs like Otis Redding and that was on the soundtrack too. And I actually did see the Ed TV movie, with Matthew McConaughey and stuff. But I was just so excited to get this song, and it's still one I really love. And I think it's a fan favorite. And that movie and this song fits it so well. I think it is relatable because everything works out so well in the Hollywood script, right? But in real life, it doesn't always. And we make mistakes, and we fail to to achieve success sometimes with our relationships, right?
There isn't always a happy ending as it seems in movies. They portray something that doesn't always happen. But next one is Memphis Lives in Me, and this showcases David. This was for a musical for Memphis. And so it was written by David Bryan and Joe DiPatrio. And I don't know have you ever seen any of David's plays?
I saw Memphis.
Yeah, so Memphis was good. And then I just we actually went to see Diana over the weekend for a second time.
Nice.
And so it's really David just shows, and I don't say this because David's one of my favorite members or in my favorite band. David is truly a musical genius, and it's sometimes I feel like he's underrated and doesn't get to showcase his full abilities. And so like you watch Diana or Memphis or Toxic Avenger, you really see how much David does, and you get that Bon Jovi sound, and you can see how much talent he adds to the band. But anyway, so he sounds a lot like Elton John too, especially in this song. And this is one of those songs that make you feel sad and reflective. It has just great piano and vocals. My favorite line is like a sad old melody that cheers you up. It sets you free, and that's how Memphis lives in me.
Yeah, I love too. There comes a time when muddy waters run rough. There comes a time when a man has had enough. To me, that kind of captures the spirit of it, and even the Broadway show. The time when a man has had enough. And it kind of reflects the whole theme of the project. And the Elton John resemblance is just striking, isn't it? I mean, I remember having this song, of course, back in '04, and I think I saw the play in around 2010. And when the show came on, and of course, when this song came on, I had this warm feeling on because I knew the song so well, and I was so excited to hear it on Broadway and to see it. And the show was just I wish I could see Diana. Memphis was so incredible, and I think the same thing as you. He's so talented.
You're gonna go see Diana. You'll be blown away.
Yeah.
I don't know I think borders are open, aren't they?
They just opened, I think, on Tuesday past.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Come tomorrow. Next one is the last track of the album, Too Much of a Good Thing. And it was written by Crush, written by John Ritchie and Richard Supa or something like that.
Yeah.
Supa.
Who writes Smith?
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Amazing or Crazy. One of the songs, a couple songs off the Get a Grip album he wrote on too.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I like the guitar intro to this song.
Yeah.
I think this song's all about something that's too good to be true, addiction to a woman, and never gonna. It's pretty much one of those guy type songs, you know, like it's never good enough. You always are coming back for more, you know. Which would have been a good track if the album was called Sex Sells.
That's true.
But it's good it wasn't put on the album. My favorite lyric is, "Love is like quicksand; it's always pulling me down."
That's mine.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the whole song?
That's the line I jotted down in my notes here too. It's the very first line in the song because it kind of gets I find that line so captivating to start the song off. Yeah, I agree with you. I kind of like a lot of songs on this disc 3. I really like the song. I just it's it's a song that I think every guy can relate to, and it kind of gets in your veins. My heart's on a string. It's just, to me, I eat that stuff up. I love that. Yeah. I'm blind to the sting, getting too much of a good thing. I also like you're my favorite disease. I like those lines in there. I think there's some really just beautiful verses in the lines in the song and verses in this track. It's just, to me, maybe the perfect way to close out just 3.
Yeah, that's true. And I love the way the chorus is done.
Yeah.
I agree. But overall, it's my favorite disc.
Yeah, me too.
I'll just forward here. Disc 4 is pretty good.
Let's just keep going. We'll do disc 4 right now. Do we really need love is a 4-letter word 2 times?
Yeah, I could probably sit here and do the whole box set with you in one sitting, and I actually debated that a while ago, but I like to try to keep these episodes under an hour, and so we're already at 48 minutes. So I figured if I was to do it with one person, it'd be a 4-hour long video, and people wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's true. I can't wait to see what we get for 40 years.
Wow. Yeah. I can't wait too. That would be incredible. Like, it's just,
hopefully something that's 5 times this size.
Yeah, really. There'd be so many tracks. I mean, and some you pick on YouTube. Like, remember I was telling you I love the Lost Highway tracks. Like, Let's Put the Boy Back in Cowboy, I think is hilarious. Yeah.
And that's the thing, now you mentioned YouTube, is, like you mentioned earlier about, songs like Lonely at the Top. There wasn't YouTube, so the only way that you could ever hear that song was from maxi singles where they had bonus tracks, and that's how you heard them. But now, it's going to be, I'm going to wonder if, like, we're going to get songs like Nothing from Have a Nice Day and, kind of like remastered, or if they're actually going to really pull songs out from the vault that we've never, ever heard and put. So, now, because YouTube exists, there's so many outtakes that we've heard that we want and love,
Well, even on the 2020 record, but it had ended up with 13 songs in the bonus deluxe edition, and I thought I heard John saying he did 23 songs for it.
Yeah,
right?
25, something like that. Yeah.
So that's like 10 or 12 right there to play with, right? Off that one record that presumably we've never heard any of those songs, right?
Exactly. So, post this, we got outtakes from Have a Nice Day, Lost Highway, Circle. What about now? This House, and then 2020. So there's definitely a lot of material there, and hopefully we get stuff that's pre 2002.
Yeah, because he left stuff off this, like I'm a big fan of the song "Stay" from the Crush sessions. Neurotica, and If I Can Make a Living of Loving You. Wedding Day is another good song from, I think, These Days. Fields of Fire, I think it is, from Keep the Faith. There was so many songs that even could have been in this collection, that he could have put on a forthcoming box set, right? Yep. Plus those Lost Highway and Circle ones, there's so many to pick from. I hope it's at least 4 discs again with all new material and maybe a few demos.
for this ginormous box set that I can't even wrap my arms around. And it's just filled with discs and filled with memorabilia and books, and that's my hope. So,
And concerts, some live DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff.
yes,
Yeah, I
just
know.
a box for me to crawl into and never see the light of day again for at least the next year. All right, buddy, I'm gonna end the recording here, but stay on so I can just say hi to you for a little bit and to chat.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming on. It was, just like you when you came on for one night, we always had a good chat, so I knew you were perfect for this.
Thank you.
So, all right, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks again. It's been a blast, and who knows? Maybe we'll make it a trilogy.
We're going to do this far.
Let's keep going. Let's go. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.